Hello, and welcome to Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Joel Kilchoer, and I am your worship associate today. I am joined by Jolynn Ibanez, your worship associate today, Joel Ibanez, your Beth Syverson, our Director of Music Ministries, and Karen Magoon Pearson, who is our Director of Religious Education for Children and Youth, and welcoming you this morning.
You can call us to JoJo.
There we go. Reverend Sean is not in the pulpit today, but she is here with us. Yeah. We would like to recognize the many volunteers who have helped to put this service together today and respectfully recognize that our church property rests on the land of the Ahachiman and Tongva people. As Unitarian Universalists, we have many different beliefs, but we are one loving community. We are bound together, not by a common set of rules or beliefs, but rather a covenant. A covenant is a promise that whatever our beliefs, we accept one another and encourage each other in spiritual growth. We affirm that all life has inherent value and that all existence is interconnected. We strive for justice and compassion in our deeds and relationships, and we are committed to creating a welcoming community, regardless of the traits that sometimes divide people. To our roomers, we invite you to silence your cell phones. For our Zoomers, we invite you to say hello in the chat. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. If you are seeking a spiritual home, we hope you will find it here. Later in the service, we'll have an opportunity for you to introduce yourself if you'd like to do so. Now, lighting our chalice for us today is Reverend Sean Wilshire. She has been a member for 10 years, which incidentally makes me her senior as a UU. And she likes the banjo, fostering puppies, and playing classical guitar. All right. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. This we affirm together.
She did that so well.
Good morning, everyone. There's great energy in here today. I love it. We're going to open with a Native American chant. It's called Beauty Before Me. The service today is about how everyone finds their own beauty or their own niche. Everyone has something that they love. And so I thought this song would be appropriate. It has some actions. We're going to go beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty under my feet, beauty within me, beauty above me. And now this is where you have a choice. You can go like this. Let all around me be beauty, or, and then unwind, go this way, or let all around me be beauty. So if you don't trust yourself to spin. So if you are interested and able, come on and stand up with me and we'll sing it together. Beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty under my feet. Beauty within me, beauty above me, let all around me be beauty. Oh, let all around me be beauty. Again. Beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty under my feet. Beauty within me, beauty above me, let all around me be beauty. Oh, let all around me be. One more time. Beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty under my feet. Beauty within me, beauty above me, let all around me be beauty. Oh, let all around me be beauty.
Oh, you who are makers, makers of beauty, of paintings and pottery and sculpture, blessed is the making.
You who make with hands and hearts and minds, who make out of breath and bones and blood human lives, blessed are the makers.
Blessed are those who make us laugh, who make jokes and faces and toys.
Blessed are those who make messes, who make trouble and friends, and when needed, make up.
Blessed are those who make do, who make it last, make it work, make beds, and make time for others.
Blessed are those who make love, who make out and make more and make mistakes,
Blessed are those who make coffee and tea,
who make conversation, who make meaning in the face of tragedy.
who make merriment and awaken joy.
Blessed are those who make peace, for they shall inherit the earth. Midnight, believe your eyes, if 10 million fireflies lit up the world as I fell asleep. 'Cause they'd fill the open air and leave teardrops everywhere. You'd think me rude, but I would just stand and stare. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems. 'Cause I get 1,000 hugs from 10,000 lightning bugs as they try to teach me how to dance. A foxtrot above my head, a sock hop beneath my bed, a disco ball's just hanging by a thread. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems when I fall asleep. Leave my door open just a crack,
Please take me away from here.
'cause I feel such an insomniac.
Please take me away from
Why
here.
do I tire of counting sheep
Please take me away from
when
here.
I'm far too tired to fall asleep?
Please take me.
To 10 million fireflies. I'm weird 'cause I hate goodbyes. I got misty eyes as they say farewell. But I know where several are. If my dreams get real bizarre, I've saved a few and I keep them in a jar. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems when I fall asleep. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems when I fall asleep. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, because my dreams are never as it seems.
The Big Orange Splot by Daniel Manus Pinkwater. Mr. Plumbean lived on a street where all the houses were the same. He liked it that way, So did everybody else on Mr. Plumbian's street. "This is a neat street," they would say. Then, one day, a seagull flew over Mr. Plumbian's house. He was carrying a can of bright orange paint, no one knows why. And he dropped the can, no one knows why, right over Mr. Plumbian's house. It made a big orange spot on Mr. Plumbian's house. "Oh, too bad," everybody said. "Mr. Plumbian will have to paint his house again." "I suppose I will," said Mr. Plumbian. But he didn't paint his house right away. He looked at the big orange spot for a long time. Then he went about his business. The neighbors got tired of seeing that big orange spot. Someone said, "Mr. Plumbian, we wish you'd get around to painting your house." "Okay," said Mr. Plumbian. He got some blue paint and some white paint, and that night he got busy. He painted at night because it was cooler. When the paint was gone, the roof was blue, the walls were white, and the big orange spot was still there. Then he got some more paint. He got red paint, yellow paint, green paint, and purple paint. In the morning, the other people on the street came out of their houses. Their houses were all the same. But Mr. Plumbian's house was like a rainbow. It was like a jungle. It was like an explosion. There was the big orange spot, and there were little orange spots. There were stripes. There were pictures of elephants and lions and pretty girls and steam shovels. The people said, "Plumbian has popped his cork, flipped his wig, blown his stack, and dropped his stopper." They went away muttering. That day, Mr. Plumbian bought carpenter's tools. That night he built a tower on top of his roof, and he painted a clock on the tower. The next day the people said, "Plumbian has gushed his mush, lost his marbles, and slipped his hawser." They decided they would pretend not to notice. That very night Mr. Plumbian got a truck full of green things. He planted palm trees, baobabs, thorn bushes, onions, and frangipani. In the morning he bought a hammock and an alligator. When the other people came out of their houses, they saw Mr. Plumbian swinging in a hammock between two palm trees. They saw an alligator lying in the grass. Mr. Plumbian was drinking lemonade. "Plumbian has gone too far. This used to be a neat street. Plumbian, what have you done to your house?" the people shouted. "My house is me and I am it. My house is where I like to be, and it looks like all my dreams," Mr. Plumbian said. The people went away. They asked the man who lived next door to Mr. Plumbian to go and have a talk with him. "Tell him that we all liked it here before he changed his house. Tell him that his house has to be the same as ours so we can have a neat street." The man went to see Mr. Plumbian that evening. They sat under the palm trees, drinking lemonade and talking all night long. Early the next morning, the man went out to get lumber and rope and nails and paint. When the people came out of their houses, they saw a red and yellow ship next door to the house of Mr. Plumbian. "What have you done to your house?" they shouted at the man. "My house is me and I am it. My house is where I like to be, and it looks like all my dreams," said the man who had always loved ships. "He's just like Plumbian," the people said. "He's got bees in his bonnet, bats in his belfry, and knots in his noodle." Then, one by one, they went to see Mr. Plumbian late at night. They would sit under the palm trees and drink lemonade and talk about their dreams. And whenever anybody visited Mr. Plumbian's house, the very next day, that person would set about changing his own house to fit his dreams. Whenever a stranger came to the street of Mr. Plumbian and his neighbors, the stranger would say, "This is not a neat street." Then all the people would say, "Our street is us, and we are it. Our street is where we like to be, and it looks like all our dreams."
that was an amazing story. Now, Karen Magoon Pearson is going to light the children's chalice and lead the children and teachers out to their classes.
Hi. My name's Joel. When I heard today about the theme of bringing out the inner geek in yourself, I couldn't help but feel like it totally fit me. Since I was young, I was often categorized with those commonly referred to as the geeks, the dorks, or the nerds. Terms usually used to minimize or insult this group, who were usually sometimes some of the smartest and most creative people on campus. Yet for some reason, this was the group that no one wanted to be labeled as or even hang out with, simply because we didn't fit in. Interestingly, these cliques slowly started to break apart the more we all grew into ourselves. The older we all got, the more popular and accepted us nerds actually seemed to become. I realize now that early belittling in our youth may have been because some folks hadn't yet discovered their true, genuine sides, or had, but were afraid that others might not like it. Some of the most popular kids I remember were always putting on an act or to impress people rather than being brave enough to share who they really were. So, what do we mean when we refer to the inner geek in ourselves? I look at it this way. Searching for the inner geek is simply a search for one's true self. But in order to do this successfully, there can be no boundaries. Quite the opposite. I learned sometimes the hard way that I had to be completely open and willing to explore and try new things. The more I closed myself off from new ideas, activities, or people that weren't as familiar to me, the less honest and true to myself I realized I was being. The times I felt most true to myself were when I saw something or someone that truly interested me, and I went all out to take it in and put it back out. When I was 9 years old, I saw a special on PBS with John Williams conducting the Boston Pops Orchestra. And the camera caught a straight line angle of the cello bass sections. And I said to myself, wow, now that would be awesome. The next year, I signed up to play cello because I loved the ability to transition between playing the deep, rich bass tones and the melodic upper strings. Best of both worlds. Mind you, this meant lugging this huge instrument to and from school every day, with kids sometimes laughing and looking at me funny, simply because it wasn't one of the more familiar band instruments that kids tended to gravitate toward. I continued to play through junior and senior high school because I loved the sounds I could make, especially with a full orchestra. And after a while, kids got used to seeing me with it and went from the funny look phase to the walk up and ask phase. Hey, what's that called? What's it like to play? Well, then we'd put on a school concert and play something familiar like the Star Wars movie theme, and all of a sudden, it became the most amazing thing. Wow, that was really cool. Around the same time, our music class was preparing for a musical production of Tumbleweeds based on the comic book character. We practiced songs for weeks but hadn't yet cast any roles. And one day, our music teacher asked 6 boys to sing the opening number alone, of which I was one. Afterwards, she decided to ask the class for a hand count to decide who would play the title role. I thought, well, that's over. I was up against some of the most popular kids in school and didn't think I was that good anyway, so. The first names were called with a couple of hands each, and I thought, well, why is nobody voting, you know? And then they came to me, and I thought, oh, well, nothing lost here. May as well go ahead and raise my hand. As my hand went up, I suddenly saw a slew of hands across the room go up simultaneously. The whole room looked, laughed out loud, and the teacher said, well, I guess that was pretty easy now, wasn't it? The next year, as I moved into junior high school, I continued playing cello and became section leader. Nonetheless, my nerd label stuck with me through the years. Then one day in 9th grade, my math teacher approached me after school, smiling as she prepped the stage. I walked up to her and I said, oh, hey, what's up? You got a late class or a math club meeting or something? She smiled and said in her own nerdy way, no, I'm just getting to meet with the drama club. Oh, really? Well, that's cool. I did a play once just before coming here. I mean, it was just a cheesy musical, but, you know. Her eyes lit up. Really? Well, we're going to be holding auditions for a new musical next week. Would you be interested? I don't know. It's been a while, and I'm pretty busy with classes, you know. Oh, well, we could use a few new faces. Hope you'll think about it. Through the next week, I'd see her in the halls, and she'd continue sort of giving me that glance like, so you going to show up? You going to show up? Well, the next week, I finally decided to show up. I thought, okay, get her off my back. But I saw a few more popular types in the school, too. All the cheerleaders and the preppies and all the like. I was like, well, I was asked to read for a couple parts and sing a solo. And I thought, well, I guess this will be a short night. Until I was cast in a pretty big supporting role. We would rehearse 3 nights a week after school and had a great time. And it wasn't long before some of the most popular girls in the school were actually saying hi to me in the halls. Huh? Well, the following year, my family moved from Colorado to SoCal, which was a pretty hard transition at the time. I started at the high school and I discovered that they didn't have an orchestra. I thought, what? What am I supposed to do now? Oh, well, I thought, what about acting? I live a hop, skip, and a jump away from Hollywood anyway. Why not? One day, I went ahead and signed up. My new drama teacher, after a while, announced the casting of our first show during class. And I was called. Well, okay. Then, after class, one of the jock types that was taking the class just to pass time approached me and said, so, you're actually going to do a show, huh? Well, yeah, could be pretty fun. You ever done one before? Yeah, I was in a couple shows back in junior high school. That's cool. So you gay? I began to stutter. What? Not that I know of. I mean, all guys who do theater are gay, right? So I just figured you must be gay. It was then that I was first introduced to the other stereotypical labels that some regularly had to deal with, that went way beyond standard nerddom. I continued acting through high school and had a great time, mostly because I enjoyed the nerdy crowd I was with, but also because I enjoyed trying to make each scene that I was assigned as real as possible, to literally imitate life. And to achieve this, an actor must gain a big perspective on the character's background, feelings, reactions. This required research, exploration, and willingness to get to know different types of people and personalities, especially the ones that I understood the least. And in order to do this successfully, I had to be open, honest, and genuine with myself. To learn about others and have them open up to me meant I had to be willing to share and do the same in return. That eventually is what drew me to the UU crowd, whose beliefs were based largely on openness and acceptance of others, which provided me with just the example I needed to stay true to myself, to find the real inner geek in me and continue letting it out even more to those around me. So with that, I'll go ahead and tell you about it. It's not that easy being green, having to spend each day the color of the leaves, when I think it could be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colorful like that. It's not easy being green. It seems you blend in with so many other ordinary things. And people tend to pass you over because you're not standing out like flashy sparkles in the water or stars in the sky. But green's the color of spring, and green can be cool and friendly like, and green can be big like an ocean, or important like a mountain, or tall like a tree. When green is all there is to be, it could make you wonder why. But why wonder, I am green and it'll do fine. It's beautiful and I think it's what I want to be.
Okay. Our reading today comes from John Scalzi, a sci-fi author who also has one of the longest running blogs on the internet. He's become known as something of royalty among geeks, I'm told. He believes that there are all kinds of geeks, but this is his definition of geekdom. Many people believe geekdom is defined by love of a thing, but I think, and my experience of geekdom bears on this thinking, that the true sign of a geek is delight in sharing a thing. It's the major difference between a geek and a hipster, you know. When a hipster sees someone else enjoying that thing they love, their reaction is to say, "Oh no, the wrong people are liking the thing that I like." When a geek sees someone else enjoying the thing they love, their reaction is to say, "Oh my goodness, you love what I love. Come with me and let us love it together." Any jerk can love a thing. It's the sharing that makes geekdom awesome. Let me read that one more time. Many people believe geekdom is defined by love of a thing, and I think, in my experience of geekdom bears in this thinking, that the true sign of a geek is delight in sharing a thing. It's the major difference between a geek and a hipster. When a hipster sees someone else grooving on the thing they love, their reaction is to say, "Oh, drat, now the wrong people like the thing I love." This is when a geek sees someone else enjoying the thing they love, their reaction is to say, oh my God, you love what I love. Come with me and let us enjoy it together." Any jerk can love a thing. It's the sharing that makes geekdom awesome. This morning, I'd like to invite you into a brief time of contemplation or meditation. I invite you to consider, what is something that you love sharing with others? What is something you are geeky about?
What is it? All right, let's sing this song together. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Now my nose is running because that was so sweet. Creativity. I've always been told that I was creative, but I felt like it was a nice way to say I was odd. If it's a new idea, I like it. Why buy it when you can make it? Whether it's cookies or a cute liner from my bike basket or a door wreath or costumes for my students, I get out the glue gun, the sewing machine, and turn on the oven. When I hear music, I see dancers leaping across the stage in my mind's eye. When I read a script, I see the action of the performers before I've even cast the show. I've always trusted that if I saw it, I could do it. Why not? But there is a perceived downside. The other vision that to do the thing I see in my mind's eye is to invite criticism. What if I'm odd after all? What if I release my inner geek? Square peg, round hole. Marches to own drummer. Off kilter. Interesting. Those are kind ways to express geeky. I like nerdy. Not as fond of buffoon, freak, weirdo, dolt, or dork. And those are other, according to thesaurus, those are other synonyms for the word. Also listed, though, are guru, techie, and computer specialist. Those are pretty cool things in my book. You know, there have been a few movies, particularly in the 80s, oddly, celebrating this type, like Weird Science, Real Genius, which is running on a loop right now, War Games, TV shows like The Big Bang Theory. What about, though, the shows like Freaks and Geeks and Square Pegs and all the John Hughes movies? Usually the geek just looks different, not particularly gifted in the sciences. They're just not fashionable. And they say what they think, popular or not. In a very kind twist of the universe, that definition of geek has been refined and it's been reclaimed from indicating overly intellectual, boring, and socially awkward types to be a positive thing, describing an expert obsessed with a hobby or an intellectual pursuit. The kind I relate to most are the kinds that have creative gifts, but perhaps not as slick with the conversation or seeing themselves as others might see them. It's a new way to look at it. And I wish it had been that way when I was in junior high. Yep, it's time for a story. I remember at one particular time I thought I was being really creative and awesome. It was the Halloween dance, and I dressed as a flapper. I had my tap costume, which was the satin with the fringe, and I had the long beads and the headpiece with the feather. Oh, and my mom's platinum wig from the 60s. Yeah, and my character shoes, which I could walk in because I was a dancer. And I was dancing, and I was a good dancer, so I was strutting myself, and then out of nowhere, a girl came, I didn't even know. She came up to me in the middle of the dance floor, and she said, "You look like an ass." Turned and walked away. I just stood there stunned. What was I supposed to do with that information? I wondered what I'd done to inspire an adolescent girl to go completely out of her way to say something like that to somebody, to insult a stranger. It's happened since, so it begs the question, what was overt? How did I do it differently? It had to do, I think, with the absolute ownership that I exuded while I was doing something purposefully over the top. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Years later, someone else in high school, some of that same crowd, caused me to be upset during a leadership meeting where I was expressing leadership and someone else felt threatened. I didn't notice that part at the time. I was busy crying in the library. And then that same girl from the dance floor came up to me and she said, "Don't waste your tears on that other girl. She's just jealous." She said she had felt the same way about me once. She said that she felt embarrassed for what she had said to me, and she apologized, saying she was foolish then, and that she was suffering from a low self-esteem, and seeing me have fun with abandon and style had made her green with jealousy. She said I was smarter, more talented, and better looking than any of those girls in that room, and it drove them all crazy. And I could not believe my ears. These were things that my mom said, not other kids, especially not teenagers. But she had grown, and we do, and so does society, a little bit all the time. And so now, this brand new trend of geek chic, it's about time. Maybe it means that more people have healthy self-esteems than in the past, and they could give credit to those who shine in their strengths rather than be afraid and run them down. Don't get me wrong, bullies still exist. They probably always will. But it used to be outside the norm to appreciate a nerd. Now we want to emulate them. Hollywood recently reminded us of those nerds in the movie The Greatest Showman. It wasn't easy then, and in fact, it was dangerous to display the creativity and ingenuity of the first trapeze artists, the first lion tamers, the first tattooed man. But think how accepted those things are today. Goodness, being fully tattooed is so common, it wouldn't draw a crowd or sell a ticket now. Am I right? That's true. Right. It's great. It's progress. Creative geekiness comes in many forms. Some people don't realize the creativity they have. My dad would have called himself an engineering geek. But he used to carve anniversary numbers for my mom using pieces of wood and metal on the lathe that they had at work. That's creative. He could have played the lead on Big Bang Theory. He was an engineering geek who worked on the space shuttle and a stealth bomber, and he was an example to me to be proud and happy of my geekiness. I think the ability to rewire a house or landscape a yard are intensely creative and very geeky in the best possible way. Like our story said today, paint your house crazy colors. As long as you don't have an HOA. Yeah. A girl who decorates her room in solid horsey and can ribbon and dressage is a classy geek. A man who creates puppets and conceives of a TV show to teach kids languages and math and science and humanity through comedy and music, told through the lens of those puppets. That's most definitely a magnificent geek. Even Kermit, though, laments the difficulty of being a certain kind of special in a world that doesn't quite get it, or perhaps is just jealous of his lovely color. Is it geeky to be a left-handed musician who doesn't think there's a limit to the voices a guitar can produce? Well, I believe Jimi Hendrix extorted that we should let our freak flags fly, and Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young reiterated that admonition, and we're using it still today. What do you have in you that's creative? Sandy arranges flowers with amazing skill. Beth teaches and inspires the choir. Reverend Sean reads tarot and, where are you, Reverend Sean? Reads tarot and plays the banjo. Steve keeps this whole place running like a Swiss clock. Jacques is Swiss. And is a fantastic host. Close your eyes. What do you do? What do you enjoy doing? Can you see yourself lifting that gift to a higher level to allow it to boost your self-esteem and let you achieve geek nirvana? See yourself as that exalted geek. Open your eyes and see me. Dancer, actor, teacher, party planner. Super geek. Watch my freak flag fly. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. Learn to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say. No one will love you as you are, but I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me.
Another round of bullets hits my skin. Well, fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. Bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun.
We are warriors.
Yeah, that's what we've become.
Yeah, that's what we've become.
Won't let them break me down to dust.
I know that there's a place for us,
For we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, we're gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. This is me.
and I know that I deserve your love. Nothing I'm not worthy of. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.
Look out, 'cause here I come.
Look out, 'cause here I
And I'm
come.
marching on to the beat I drum.
Marching on, marching,
I'm not
marching
scared to be seen.
on.
I make no apologies.
This is me.
Lord's gonna cut me down. I send the flood to drown them out.
I'll send a flood to drown them out. Hey,
This is me.
Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUC amplifies that spirit of generosity by sharing half of the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. This month, we are sharing with Stand Up for Kids. There are multiple ways you can support our church and this organization. You can mail a check, go through our website, use an app called Vanco Mobile, or put money in the basket by the door as you leave. All the information is on our website should you need it. Thank you for your continued generosity.
Okay. She's a little square peg in a round hole. She's a Borg against fashion and a gender role. She's got all the right problems in her morning routine and puts no effort into keeping her head clean. She's an all-around geek, and I know why. She stumbles on a beat and really tie her shoes. She never cares about what's on the national news. She can't deal with the crowd, but great when no one's around. Doesn't know when to stop until her test hits the ground. She's an all-around geek, and I know why. Everybody looks at her as if she's cursed. If you think that she is normal, boy, you'd be the first. She can never stop talking about the difference between the desktop monitor and the TV screen. She's an all-around geek, and I know why. She was born and raised in California with a special neck for knowing just what not to say. Her favorite color is that Berkeley blue, cause she wants to find another element that's new. And what's new? What's new? What's new with you and what you do? Yeah, she's an all-around geek, and I know why. She's outside of the box cause a box ain't her. She makes brand new breakthroughs with astronomers. She doesn't need no fancy clothes or the newest purse, as long as she's creative in her workspace first. She's an all-around geek, and I know why. I know why. I know why.
Want to make sure everyone noticed that Chance also wrote that song. A talented family. Thank you, Ibanez's. Now we're going to sing our offertory response. This is a song that puts our intentions into words and expresses our gratitude for the many gifts we share. We gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We gave from our hearts to show that we can change lives with what we share.
There we go. Now is the time when we honor the important events in our lives. You are invited, one and all, whether you are a member, a friend, or a visitor, to participate in our weekly ritual of joys and sorrows. So let's take a deep breath. Perhaps you come here today holding something close to your heart, moments from the last days or hours that have struck you to your core. If you'd like to honor such a profound joy or sorrow, you are invited to do so. If you're a roomer, you're invited to come forward and light your candle. If you'd like to share your joy or sorrow, you can write it out on the slip of paper provided and hand it to me. You can ask an usher to come give you one if you need one. If you're a Zoomer, you're invited to write your joy or sorrow in a chat. Once the roomers are done lighting the candles, I'll read the joys and sorrows out loud, and as Lori Kluge lights a candle for the Zoomers. As the music is played, I invite you to silently offer healing or celebration as you feel called and according to your own beliefs. Yeah. There we go. Linda C. says it was a great joy to participate in the amazing auction last night. Thank you, Jolynn, Joel, and all the geeks who made it happen. Thank you, Linda, for the wonderful submissions. Matthew P. Joy, end of spring semester at Fullerton College was this week. Got to spend a wonderful evening with the Fullerton College Theater Department at their awards banquet. Oh my gosh. I held an Emmy last night. And share with my husband all the wonderful friends I've made this year. Time to rest and get ready for summer classes. Okay. Sarah J., a candle of joy and appreciation for the blessing that we have in the endless talents of, should have read this first. Pre-read it, you know what I'm saying. Endless talents of the Ibanez family. She says, love you, my friends. We love you too. Melody, so this is all fun and games. We've got some cool stuff that's fun. Anonymous has a joy for being endorsed for being a geek. If in any doubt, ask me about blockchain. Totally anonymous.
Totally anonymous.
Oh, I didn't see this one. Okay, we have, it's a mixed joy and sorrow. 8 days, 3 hours, and 45 seconds left in the school year, but who's counting? Unfortunately, I get to spend my summer recovering from rotator cuff surgery, 6 to 12 weeks, due to the really bad car accident back in February. Please send healing thoughts for a speedy recovery. That's good old Elizabeth K. Yeah. Let's see, Brianna M. I have never lived with a 13-year-old before. Uh-oh. My child is now a teen, and I've made it to 45 years tomorrow. All right, Brianna. Okay, I'll say that. All right, Simone B. Aggravation is hers. And it's I'm having medical procedures and had a trying week with certain members of the medical profession. I think we feel that. A lot of us can feel that. Gina M. is the sorrow. Bin Win, my fiance's father, passed recently. May he be reunited. I'm so sorry. May he be reunited with his loved ones. Elise J. says that she would like to submit a sorrow for this coming service. She'd like to share the passing of her father, Jan James, or Jan James, probably Jan. She died her mother, I'm so sorry, her mother, not her father. Her mother, Jan James. She died last week peacefully in her home with her children and her brother at her side. She was an incredible mother and friend, a lover of music, life, and sunshine. And she is greatly, greatly missed. Melody D. would like to say that her dearest friend Irene is battling a very aggressive cancer. So she asks for your prayers and thoughts. A candle of caring for Sarah Jones for her daughter Hannah, who is suffering from an infection. And then to end on a lighter note, Deborah Kwan for Jolynn Ibanez's leadership of another successful auction. She and the auction planning team brought it all together once again. And from me, a big thank you to all of you, my loving church community, my family, for all the support you always show me and my family, and for making yesterday's auction. Yeah, it was really awesome. So thank you very much. Let us hold in love all the joys and celebrations and all the hurts and sadness, both spoken and silent. Let our joys remind us to be thankful, our concerns remind us to hope, and our sorrows remind us to connect. Let all these moments remind us that we are not alone.
My Credo of Life, edited by Patricia A. Fleming. Let me live within the moment. Let me feel all that I can. Let me cherish life for all it's worth with everything I am. Let me see what's right in front of me with vision crystal clear, and face what's waiting there for me with no hesitance or fear. May I wake each day with gratitude for all my life may be, and always feel that wonderment at the world surrounding me. Let me forgive myself for my mistakes while forgiving others theirs, and never grow indifferent, but always strive to care. Let me not forget what matters in the scream of every day, to live each precious moment in a kind and loving way. Amen and blessed be.
Thank you.
Let us join together as we extinguish the flame of our chalice and say, we extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are a congregation made up of people who all believe differently. And yet, when we gather together, whether we are in the room or on Zoom, we make up one loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. If you are a guest, a visitor, or someone who hasn't yet been known to us, I invite you to become a part of this beloved community. We encourage you to either write in the chat if you are a Zoomer, or if you are here with us in the room, to stand for a brief moment and tell us your name and where you are from. Our music director, Beth Syverson, will bring you a microphone if that's the case.
My name is Barbara Schilling, and this is for all the people that I have not met in the 3 years that I've been Zooming.
Oh.
And for anybody who might have forgotten me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Olga, Oля. I'm from Ukraine, Kiev.
Oh.
And my son also, Renat.
Hey everybody, I'm Farah. I'm from Eastside Costa Mesa, so just down the street. I came here like, I don't know how many years ago, just one time. So I'm back, and this was awesome today.
Right. Thank you. Okay. If you'd like to know more about our church, including programming for our youth and children, please contact us at hello@ocuc.org and we will help you get connected. In addition, we invite you to sign up for our weekly email called The Blast at blast@ocuc.org. We want everyone to feel a part of this beloved community, so please reach out. And today doing the announcements for us is my junior Unitarian Universalist, Reverend Sean Wilshire.
Spying on us. This thing on. So a couple of big announcements I want to make for all of you. So one of which is that we've got our big annual meeting is coming up on June 11th. If you're a member, you get to vote in that meeting. And we're going to be talking about all sorts of wonderful things, including passing the new budget for the church year, all that sort of thing. And if you would like to recognize people, please do so by, I believe it's June 4th. We call it the Unsung Heroes and Unsung UU and Shining Star Awards that we give to people that maybe haven't yet been really recognized. The other thing that I want to mention also is thank you again for a wonderful auction last night. We raised over $12,000. Congratulations. Oh, they were preliminarily told us, sorry, 14, 15, almost 15,000. Wow. Okay, somebody told me the wrong number today. Right on. The other thing is that, you know, about the whole Article 2 thing, we put out a survey. It was in the blast. We're going to send it out again. We'd like to get your feedback. Even if you've been to any of the meetings around Article 2 before, please go ahead and still fill it out and everything and give us your feedback about those changes going on at the UUA and everything. So for those of you who don't know, our denominational sort of head, for lack of a better word, is revising some of our bylaws, including our 7 principles and 6 sources. So we're getting feedback about that. The biggest thing that I want to mention today is that we've got this all-church potluck because we are celebrating a year of being with this absolutely wonderful family. And I would like to ask, can we stop recording, please?
Bring joy to each other, let us go out with indifference's joy. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out with joy. This service is over. Let our service continue.